We have made pastel color wheel, and we're gonna use it in, let's say, baby art or romantic art or, I don't know, sunrise. Basically, anytime when you want your viewers to feel relaxed. We have made summer colors. We're gonna use them every time we want to feel energized and uplifted. Vacation scenes, children's art, tropical art, colorful birds. We have our Moody colors. We're gonna use them every time we want to create depth and contemplation. Dramatic subjects, moody scenes, sophisticated art, emotional portraits. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria, and as I said in the intro, last week we made 3 emotional color wheels, and now it's time to use our knowledge and paint some emotional landscapes. Let's start. The first landscape is gonna be a flower-filled scenery with some hills on the background, and I'm using my paints that are left from the pastel color wheel. I'm working wet on wet. The whole little rectangle is wet, and right now I'm just using very light washes and a lot of water to have all the paints very diluted, so to preserve this pastel kind of serene feeling of this landscape. The first layer is usually very light, but since the whole painting is gonna be very light, I'm introducing different shades of very similar tones. For example, I just used a little bit of greenish and a little bit of orange kind of tones in different spots. And now I'm going to make some of these areas just a little bit darker. Using vertical strokes, I try to mimic the trees on the background. And now I moved to the middle ground. And middle ground has just a little bit more details and just a little bit more color. I make it just a little darker. I used my orange and added some green to it. Now I need to make the middle ground darker. The foreground is usually the most detailed and the brightest, so I'm using a yellow color, but I'm trying not to make it too bright to preserve this pastel and serene feeling of the painting. The last details, and this little landscape is ready. For the next landscape, I started with cleaning my palette, and now I have my sepia on the right side of my palette, and I'm adding sepia to every color mix. And I start with very light washes as always, working wet on wet, and I started with the sky. I'm gonna make the sky just a little darker than on the photo because it looks very light, almost white on the photo, and I just don't want to have this overexposed sky on my painting. The middle ground is gonna be much darker, and because of this contrast, the sky will look very light. I used the same mixture, but I made it much more saturated, less water and more pigments. I introduced warmer tones to the middle ground and I just made them a little bit too yellow, but when they dry they won't be that happy yellow color. Now I want to go ahead and add some forest to this middle ground. I use blue, yellow and sepia. I'm painting with vertical strokes. There is some fir trees on this photo, so I'm trying to mimic their shapes, but not adding too much details. Now I'm gonna soften some edges. I want to keep some of them sharp and to soften others, just to add visual interest to this painting. Then I'm gonna add a little house on the middle ground, and I'm using the same paint mixture because trees and house belong to the same middle ground. Now I'm gonna add trees for the foreground. Mixture is gonna be very saturated, a lot of blue and a lot of yellow, dark green, and I'm just using simple strokes to just make a shape of a tree. I'm not really painting any details. I will add details later to the trunks using maybe just sepia. The last landscape is gonna be summer vibes, and I'm using all the bright greens and yellows and reds that I have. As always, I started with wet on wet. The paper is wet, and I'm mixing blue and yellow, and sometimes I add a little bit more blue to the mix, or sometimes I'll add a little more yellow, and I'm using bigger brush just to speed the process. And the first wash is usually pretty light, so I'm gonna add more colors later. Now I'm gonna add alizarin crimson right to the green field, and it's gonna push the green a little bit out, and this is how the clean colors would be achieved. And the same happens with yellow, which in my case is cadmium yellow, and it's gonna push green, and it's gonna stay clean and bright and beautiful. I feel that the red color is too red and kind of monotonous, and I'm gonna add a little orange to this field just to break this red color, just to make, once again, as I always say, to add visual interest to the painting. I also think about a rule of thirds in this painting. I'm trying to put my biggest amount of flowers to the lower left intersection of this rule of thirds mesh kind of thing, and just to have this composition just more interesting. After I compared flowers to the green field, I see that green field is too light, and I'm adding the second layer. Some areas will be more yellow, some areas will be more green, and I'm trying to paint around the flowers so they don't really become muddy. So now we know not only how to make several types of color wheels, but also how to apply them in our real-life paintings. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you like my lessons, I have a whole painting class on Patreon, how to paint 5 beautiful dogs. Come check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you next time!